Before there were cities, before the Constitution, before the name America was ever spoken, there were nations, civilizations, stories that stretched across centuries. This is not just the story of a country, it's the saga of a people, a land, and the forces that shaped them. From the sacred grounds of Native America to the fires of revolution, through slavery, civil war, and civil rights, from Silicon Valley to the steps of the Capitol, this is the story of the United States of America. Unfiltered, unforgettable, unfinished. Long before European sails touched the horizon, this land thrived under the stewardship of over 500 distinct native tribes and nations. From the Mississippians building mound cities in Cahokia, to the sophisticated governance of the Iroquois Confederacy, to the deep spirituality of the Navajo, the Lakota, the Cherokee, these were not primitive peoples. They were astronomers, farmers, engineers, and warriors. But everything would change in 1492. 1492 marked the beginning of European colonization. The Spanish arrived in the south, the French in the north, the British on the east coast. Native lands were taken, populations decimated by disease and violence. In Virginia, the first successful English colony grew. With it came indentured servants. And in 1619, the first enslaved Africans, forcibly brought to work the tobacco fields. As colonists expanded west, conflict grew with native peoples. Treaties were made and broken. A legacy of displacement began that would echo for centuries. (1776). The colonies rebelled against the British crown. No taxation without representation, they declared. The Revolutionary War wasn't just a military battle. It was a battle of ideas, liberty, democracy, self-rule. But it was also a contradiction. The same men who cried for freedom enslaved others. In 1787, the Constitution was born, a document designed to evolve, to hold tension. And in 1789, George Washington became the first president of this fledgling republic. As the United States grew westward, so too did its deepest wound, slavery. The Southern economy depended on it. Millions of enslaved Africans worked the cotton fields, whipped, sold, and dehumanized. But resistance lived. Underground railroads, rebellions, abolitionist voices rising in the North. By 1860, the nation was breaking. Abraham Lincoln was elected, and soon after, Southern states seceded. (1861), brother fought brother, over 600,000 lives lost in the bloodiest war in United States history. Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation in 1863. In 1865, the Union won. Slavery was abolished. But freedom did not mean equality. During Reconstruction, Black Americans briefly gained political power. Schools were built, laws were passed, but by the 1870s, white supremacist backlash rolled back progress. Jim Crow laws took hold. Lynching and segregation became the new form of control. America entered the Gilded Age. Cities boomed. Railroads connected the coasts. Carnegie, Rockefeller, and Morgan became titans of industry. Immigrants poured in. Irish, Italian, Chinese, Eastern European. Dreams of opportunity brought millions through Ellis Island, and later, Angel Island. Yet discrimination ran deep. The Chinese Exclusion Act, tenements, child labor. The United States was rising as a global power. but inequality and unrest bubbled beneath the surface. America entered World War I in 1917. It emerged more powerful, but faced a Great Depression soon after. Then came World War II. The attack on Pearl Harbor pulled the United States in. On battlefields across Europe and the Pacific, America fought and won. At home, women joined the workforce. Black soldiers returned from war demanding justice. Japanese Americans were interned. The war ended with the atomic bomb. The Cold War began. America was now a global superpower, and a nation divided by race, class, and ideology. The 1950s and 60s saw the rise of a movement. Rosa Parks sat, Martin Luther King Jr. marched, Malcolm X spoke truth to power, civil rights legislation was passed, but change was slow and bitterly contested. Meanwhile, other voices rose: feminists, anti-war protesters, the LGBTQ+ community at Stonewall, Latinos organizing farm workers, indigenous activists at Alcatraz. America was in the middle of a cultural revolution, redefining who gets to be we the people. The late 20th century brought rapid change. The Cold War ended. The internet was born. 9/11 changed everything, launching 2 decades of war and reshaping national security. Barack Obama became the first black president in 2008, a symbol of hope and a target of backlash. Economic crashes, social media, culture wars, police violence, mass shootings, climate change, and then a pandemic brought the world to a halt. In 2020, protests erupted again, George Floyd's death igniting a movement heard around the world. Today, America stands at a crossroads. In 2024, Donald Trump was re-elected, marking another dramatic shift in U.S. politics. Debates rage over freedom, truth, and democracy itself. AI is transforming work. Climate disasters are intensifying. People are more connected and more divided than ever before. But in every generation, America has faced reckoning. And in every generation, people, young and old, rich and poor, of every color and creed, have stood up to shape what comes next. The story of America isn't over. It's being written right now. By you, by me, by all of us. America, A Nation's Journey. Subscribe for more deep dives into history and humanity.